Hey, 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 happy day 706 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom, being me. Yep, all about me. I know that's lame, isn't it, to say something's all about me. Really, it's all about the journey from offline brick and mortar businesses in the corporate world. Actually, I've been involved in like 27 different businesses and industries in my life and career so far. I guess what I'm doing now, I don't know if you consider it 28, 29, 30, 31 or whatever, but it's all online endeavors or combining offline and online endeavors and helping other people to do that as well. Today I titled this one Ideas, because ideas, we all have ideas all the time, right? Have you ever tried to turn off your brain? It's pretty darn hard. Even when you're meditating like a monk and you've done it for years, it's still pretty hard to turn off your mind. It's pretty much always going, and it's always asking questions, it's always evaluating, it's always judging, it's always trying to make sense of things around us. And ideas are part of that. We have ideas all the time of how to solve problems, how to handle things, how to creatively approach different situations, how to make things better, how to make things worse, how to undermine things, how to undermine ourselves, how to make ourselves feel better. Ideas about absolutely everything. I'd love some ideas about how to get rid of this cough. Excuse me so much. If I talk for more than like a minute, it goes, and I can't participate. Anyway, ideas, where do they come from? And I'm thinking about ideas because I woke up this morning. I am committing to myself that I'm going to narrow my focus. I'm going to narrow my focus and who I serve. And I've decided and been doing research over the last couple of days to verify that this is the group that I am going to target and serve now. I don't know for how long. I'm going to experiment with it and test it like Field of Favor taught us. I'm going to test this market and see if it's the right segment of the market for me to make a difference in. And of course, it's the women 55 to 64. Why? I'm smack dab in the middle of that. I totally get them. I totally can relate. And I totally was brainstorming and thinking of ideas of what the heck would serve this market and how could we help this market? What would be important for them as I woke up this morning? And so I'm thinking about ideas and ideas and ideas and what would make sense and who in this market are the underserved people that I could really help and really impact. And it all stems from the trying to think of a name for a tribe of women 55 to 64. What the heck do women 55 to 64 want to be referred to as? How do they see themselves? How do they identify? Or better yet, not how do they currently identify, how do they want to identify? How do they want to be seen in the world? I think they want to be seen as strong, powerful, contributing factors to society as a whole, you know, actual world changers, because we're old enough and wise enough to have had a lot of experience and know and learn from the mistakes that we've made, yet it sort of feels a lot of the time like nobody's listening to us and that we're invisible. I spent a lot of years in my marriage anyway, feeling invisible, and so maybe that's where that desire stems from a little bit. I don't think I was invisible in the business world or in corporate America per se. I definitely wasn't. I made a lot of noise there. But I definitely felt invisible in my relationship, and I think some of that has come again as I've moved into my 50s and hit my stride there. And so I think it's a cool group. I think it's going to be a really fun and amazing group for me to serve. Again, I've always had such a business focus in my life and my career. It's a difficult and challenging shift in mindset for me, but it's an exercise to prove that I can do it and to prove that it's important to pick a target audience and serve them to the best of your ability and then build from that. So I'm actually going to practice what I preached this year in 2020 and show and tell about how it works and how I can serve that group of people. So if you have a name for people, women, not people, women 55 to 64, brainstorm, share it in the comments below, or direct message me, because I would love some help with that. It helps if you're a woman 55 to 64, and if you're not, that's okay too. I mean, anybody, I would love feedback from anyone with respect to coming up with an identity for that group. And maybe I just need to sit down today and spend a few minutes brainstorming, how do I want to be seen in the world? How do I want to be identified? And then maybe the name will come to me. So far, it hasn't. You know, I've been rolling with Pajama Grandma for, 3 years now, and it suits me. But I think there's misconceptions with the pajama part of grandma, and not all women 55 to 64 happen to be grandmothers. And it's not about being a grandma. It's about the lifestyle and the mindset around being able to do what you want, when you want, where you want, with whomever you want, wearing whatever you want. And it's not about going out in public in your pajamas. It's about being able to create the life you want, wearing whatever you want. And that has served me very well, especially with my history of chronic pain and illnesses and challenges. That has been important for me. Being able to function in a productive manner, no matter what's going on in my life, that has been important to me. And then being able to find a level of comfort, even if it's just mental comfort, is represented by pajamas to me. And maybe I need to just do a better job of explaining that and sharing what and why that is what it is. But I know it does not translate particularly well to the online marketing and business building community. And I get that. I mean, perception is so important and so real that we need to always keep that in mind. And it's not about me. It's about what I can do for other people. And so when I remember that, you know, Pajama Grandma serves me and works really well for me. But if other people can't relate to it, maybe it's time that she croaks. I can't believe I said that out loud, but maybe it is time. We'll see. My family would be ever so happy if Pajama Grandma went away, but frankly, I love her. So we'll see. And it's a very big part of me, so I'm not sure that she will. Never underestimate the power of what feels good to you. And Pajama Grandma feels good to me. So we'll play with that a little longer as well. Supersize Your Business today was about giving someone the benefit of the doubt. I don't know about you, but it feels to me these days like everybody is so quick to judge and criticize and jump all over somebody else's stuff over almost anything and everything. I don't know if it's the political environment or if it's not the economy. The economy's doing really well, so we can't blame the economy. We can't blame the weather. We can't blame anything but ourselves. It just feels like people are more apt to judge people and jump on them and criticize them than to give them the benefit of the doubt. And I would love to see us get back to the days where we trust one another automatically until something happens to dishonor that trust or to break that trust. We believe people really are innocent and here to do good things unless they prove devious or evil or otherwise, right? Guess I've gotten into trouble with that a couple of times. I've always give people the benefit of the doubt until they screw me over or until they do something to hurt or harm me or someone I love and care about. That's how I got involved with a bad business partner. It was somebody that never should have been a bad business partner. I gave them a benefit of the doubt and it turned out really, really bad. Now, recovered from that, or still recovering from that, and it'll be fine. But I would much rather have erred by giving that person the benefit of the doubt than not giving them the benefit of the doubt, not giving them a chance to participate. I think all of us that are trying to make the world a better place, I think that we tend to give people the benefit of the doubt until something really bad happens, and then we draw in and we tend to be a little bit, have a bigger shell on us and a little bit more of a protective shell. And then hopefully over time we relax that and we realize that the vast majority of human beings are amazing beings. They're not out to screw one another or hurt one another. Yep, there is an element of evil in this world. There always will be. You know, I think my granddaughter was asking me the other day, she's like, why are there always bad guys in movies or bad guys in shows? And I think we were watching a Barbie movie, so it's really funny that she doesn't like the bad guys in Barbie movies. Actually, this was just yesterday. We were watching a Barbie mermaid movie, and of course the king's brother was trying to kill the king so that his son could be king. Well, of course, it's a story as old as time, but she wondered, why do there have to be bad guys? Well, there just are. There is just evil in the world. We live in a polar universe, so there's going to be good, there's going to be evil, but we have to assume, we don't have to, but it feels a lot better, at least to me, to assume that people are good, people are innocent unless proven guilty. Happy every day. Today was day 367 of our 365 day do one thing every day that makes you happy challenge. 2 more days of that. Just because there's more than 365 pages in the book and activities in the book, I committed last year that I would do the whole thing. And once I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I committed to myself. Now, I've gotten a lot better about not committing to things if I'm not going to do them, or if I'm not sure it's right for me or I want to do it. But once I commit to doing something to myself, it's going to get done no matter what. So, Happy Every Day is almost nearing the end. Going to make changes with next year's. Next year is doing one fun thing every day. And I think I mentioned that this book is a lot more hands-on. So I'm just going to do it, I believe, on my Pajama Grandma page. And it's the only place I'm going to do it. So I'll do a couple of days and share it in a couple of places with the link to my Pajama Grandma page. But that is the only place I'm going to do it, because it is a lot more hands-on, a lot of drawing, a lot of creativity, a lot of fun stuff, because I want to have more fun in 2020. In addition to focusing on vision and really honing in on what it is and who it is that I want to serve this year, to set the example by proving how to do this stuff that I teach people, and having a good case study for that. Okay, the secret's out. I want to have a good case study for that. I need to narrow my focus and pull back on some of the things that are not they are distracting. I'm not going to say they're not distracting. I almost said they're not distracting, but they're totally distracting. They're taking my focus off of what I should be focusing on. This is one of those things, but it's also, remember, my cheat way to warm up my voice for my videos every day. And it's fun, and it helps me focus on an improvement area for myself for the year. 2 years ago, it was stretching my comfort zone. I would not have been caught dead doing a video, and now today is day 706 of doing a video every single day, just talking about and documenting my journey through the process of moving from offline to online businesses. I would not have been caught dead had I not done that 365-day personal challenge to do one thing every day that scares me or stretches my comfort zone. Now, if I look at that, let me take a peek in that and see. It was actually 378 days that book was. This one was Do One Thing Every Day That Scares You. This was 378 days. So this one was actually a little bit longer book than the Do One Thing Every Day That Makes You Happy. I don't know how many are in the Do One Thing Every Day That for Fun. Do One Fun Thing Every Day. I should get the title right. Do One Fun Thing Every Day. I don't know how many are in here. I'll just start on day one. And it says actually in the beginning of this book that you can jump around and do it out of order. Yeah, that would be fun. That would be really nifty to just randomly open a page. But I've done that with the idioms thing that I've been doing on Supersize Your Business. And it's a mess. And so I am going to do what I've done the last 2 years. And I'm going to go through from the first page to the end. That's how I am going to do it. I learned in one of these workbooks that I did following my sudden cardiac arrest was, who was it by Lynn Grabhorn, and it was one of my very favorite workbooks on the planet because it took me a year to do it. That's because I told myself I couldn't move on to a different exercise until I did them in order. And the reason I did that is because, and what I learned by the one that stumped me for over 2 months, that the exercise that I was putting off doing and making excuses for not doing it, and that I wouldn't let myself move on in the workbook for, that was the one that I personally needed the most. It was the one that I was resisting and absolutely positively didn't want to do and wanted to skip over every single day. But I had committed to myself at the beginning of the book that I wasn't going to do that. I was going to go in order, and I had to do every single exercise. It was just part of my healing process from that traumatic event. I don't know if y'all think dying's a traumatic event, but for me it was pretty traumatic, right? So as part of that healing process, I told myself I would do that workbook in order. And yeah, it worked out really well for me. Again, I spent 2 months looking at the same page every day because I couldn't bring myself to actually doing that particular exercise. And then when I actually sat down after months of agonizing over it and did it, it probably took me less than 10 minutes, and I had just this massive relief and breakthrough. And I wondered why the heck I had been putting it off for so long. But I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to deal with the questions and the issues that were being brought up by that particular exercise and challenge. I wasn't ready to heal that yet. And so we all do things in our own time. But that is my reasoning for going through it in order. These are awesome journals. That's why I love them. It says it's an awesome journal, and it's absolutely true. So this will just be on Pajama Grandma page. Pajama Grandma page every day, and I will not be sharing it everywhere. I may hire a VA or somebody later on if I think that's of value to share it. with people, but for the most part, what I'm thinking right now is I'm not going to do that. It's just going to be on Pajama Grandma. So that was a whole lot on that. I guess that's all I've got. I'm still coughing, which makes no sense since influenza A is only supposed to last like 7 days, and I'm probably on day 9 or 10 at least. So I'm getting a little frustrated about the coughing. I promised my sisters if I'm still coughing on Monday, I will go get my lungs checked. But I don't feel bad. I just am coughing and have a gucky nose and gucky head and gucky throat. If gucky is a word. Gucky is a technical term. Let's make gucky a technical term. It's like yucky and gross combined. That would be grucky. Anyway, have an absolutely amazing day. If I can help you in any way, hit me up in the comments below. If you have a name for, or an identity, or some thoughts on the identity of women 55 to 64, if you're in that group and that age range and want to participate and would, want to have a chat, I would love to chat with you about what's going on in your life, what, some of the greatest lessons learned. And I may do some really fun things with this group of women over the next few months. I might ask people to share their stories and compile them into a book. I might do a women's summit, a summit for women 55 to 64. I loved doing the summit last year, and then a whole lot of stuff happened, and I decided instead of doing 4 in 1 year, I was just going to do the one. But I loved doing it. I thought it was awesome. I would love to revisit that. Since I have been in transition and moving as I'm selling my house from my divorce, I have not been doing interviews. I don't have a studio set up where I am right now to do interviews. I'm gonna think about that. I think that this first week of January, I may set my studio up because I miss doing interviews. I love interviewing other people, and so I want to reintroduce that into the Pajama Grandma podcast. I've really, really missed it. Just in the last the last quarter of 2019, I didn't really do interviews, and I miss it, and so I want to add those and reincorporate those. And so maybe there'll be a Pajama Grandma segment specifically for the group of 55 to 64-year-old women when I come up with a name for them or an identity for them, and we'll do interviews and stories and fun activities and things specifically for that group of women. Anyway, that's all I've got today. Have an absolutely amazing day. I've been rambling. I must be feeling better. Chatty Sharon, I guess, today. I will be with you tomorrow with day 707 of What's She Up To Now. Have an absolutely tremendous day. Bye. Take care.